This is one of the most devastating weapons in our arsenal today, and a lot of people get very confused about it.
Damn thing's got tracks like a tank. Got a big-ass gun like a tank. Looks, feels, even smells like a tank, but it's not. So you're probably asking yourself, well, what is it? It's a butt-kicking Bradley, an armored fighting vehicle.
And it's different from a tank like this Abrams. You see, the tank's main job is to spearhead an attack ahead of advancing infantry. Armored fighting vehicles are designed to get to troops where they're needed, so they can go in and finish the job. I guess you could argue that the legendary Trojan horse of Greek mythology was one of the earliest examples of armored personnel carriers. But things didn't really get going with AFVs until the arrival of the internal combustion engine. Then in World War I, the British developed a derivative of their iconic Mark I tank, which could carry up to 30 troops and protect them from machine gun fire as well. But with a top speed of just 4 miles per hour, it could just about keep up with the soldiers on foot. The Second World War was when this foot soldier's best friend really got going.
By World War II, every country had their very own fleet of armored vehicles. Now, this one here played an important role for the Allied forces. It's an M8 Greyhound, mission recon.
1943, M8, light armored car. Carries 4 crew. Speed, 56 miles per hour.
The American M8 was introduced to World War II in 1943. Its main job was reconnaissance. It would cruise ahead of the division, look for signs of the enemy, then radio that intel back to the command.
It had to be light and fast, and that's why the Brits called it the Greyhound. And its 6-wheel design gave it that speed. It also packed machine guns and hard-hitting cannons. Plus, its armor could repel most small arms fire. And here's my good buddy Harlan Glenn to tell us about it.
There's 19 millimeters of armor plate up here and in the front. On the bottom, you've only got 3 millimeters, but they have to keep it light to keep it mobile, to maintain that speed. If it was, weighed down with heavy armor plate, let's say like a Sherman tank, they're not going to be able to go very fast. Then it's not a fast reconnaissance vehicle.
So Harlan, tell me, what's the range of the vehicle?
About 400 miles, Gunny.
Oh, that's a long ways for
It's like a horse for the cavalry, to go out and scout and come back and report to the CO on what they found.
The M8 was so stealthy at carrying out its wartime recon work, the Nazis nicknamed these units the Ghosts of Patton's Army. Okay, let's go over where we've been with the armored vehicle. World War II saw the M8 recon car. It was light and fast on flat surfaces, but only carried a crew of 4. The half-track could carry a squad of 10 over rough terrain, but left them a little exposed up on top. The fully tracked M113 put the troops in a totally enclosed cabin, but it had lightweight armor, a weak belly. So the Bradley introduced high-tech reactive armor. But even that struggles against the ever-present threat from roadside bombs. So a brand new fleet of armored vehicles was created. 2004, the MRAP. Carries 2 crew plus 6 to 10 troops. Speed, 65 miles an hour.
MRAP stands for Mine Resistant Ambush Protected. It is a class of armored fighting vehicle specifically engineered with one major purpose in mind: to save the lives of troops by protecting them from IEDs or similar roadside bomb attacks.
The American MRAP design was based on the lessons learned from the guys and gals fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan. Guys like Chief Warrant Officer Womble.
Gunny, I was in Iraq in 2004, and we didn't have MRAPs. And at that time, all the services were scrambling to get their all their vehicles equipped with whatever armor they could get. And I was actually on a Humvee that got hit with an IED, and it was not nice.
Troop transports like Humvees and Jeeps have little, if any, armor underneath, making them vulnerable to mines and IEDs. The underside of these vehicles are riddled with pockets where the gas and blast waves of an explosion can be trapped and focused against the vehicle. The results can be deadly.
What happened was all the services started putting in a requirement to get armor put on their FMTVs, MTVRs, Humvees. And what we ended up getting to was the MRAP platform.
Now, these vehicles really are an engineering breakthrough. See, the MRAP has a smooth V-shaped hull. This not only acts like traditional armor, but the smooth sides stop the blast energy from getting trapped. And the V-shape deflects the shrapnel and blast energy out and away from the vehicle. And there's another feature on all MRAPs that helps the V-shaped hull to work.
All the vehicles were designed with a raised chassis, which gives you a better standoff from where the blast would explode. So you've got the standoff, and then as the blast explodes, that V-shaped hull allows that fragmentation and the blast to blast outwards.
Compare this to tracked vehicles like the M113 or the Bradley. They both set much closer to the ground, and their underbellies are flat, making them more vulnerable to an IED blast than an MRAP with its V-shaped hull.
This life-saving design is incorporated into each variant type of the MRAP vehicles in service.
And there's no shortage of those.
These vehicles right here may all look different, but they're all the same family of MRAPs. There are 3 categories of them, and they all have the same mission: protect the troops.
Category 1 MRAP are 4x4 vehicles used for patrol in urban areas and confined spaces, carrying up to 6 troops. And Chief Womble knows all about it.
This is the BAE Cat 1 4x4. They took the original BAE Cat 1 and tweaked it, and this is what you're looking at.
Why would they want something like this?
Well, it's smaller, it's lighter than the Cat 2, so provides a little more mobility.
Category 2 MRAPs are larger and have 6-wheel drive for long-range missions. They're designed to carry up to 10 troops. And this category can be adapted for a whole mess of different jobs.
We had the need for a real ambulance, so the engineers went in and developed an ambulance. So it's got all the medical equipment in there that a standard ambulance does.
So what about the Category 3? Well, there's only one type, and it's called the Buffalo. This is exclusive to the Explosive Ordnance Department for the disposal of IEDs and other threats. At 27 feet long, this is the biggest of the bunch, made for 2 crew, 4 engineers, and 1 EOD robot.
Those are the guys, you know, that go out and pick up the IEDs and look at them, interrogate them, investigate them.
And they can do that from the safety of the vehicle while a remote-controlled robotic arm checks out the suspected IED.
They're finding more IEDs than IEDs that go off.
You know, a lot of bang for your buck here as far as I'm concerned. If it saves one life, yeah, absolutely.
More than 12,000 MRAPs have been deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan.
We're continuously upgrading, re-engineering, and trying to improve all the platforms.
Like this Category 2 MRAP here, called the Cougar. And it's being upgraded with a new independent suspension and lighter armor. That's to help keep it on track in the mountains of Afghanistan, where road conditions are, well, somewhat less than perfect.
And the main thing, it protects the troops as it drives them into combat.
Correct.
That's the most important part of this vehicle.
Yep.
Let's take her for a spin on the Aberdeen Test Center driving course. Gotta be a damn gymnast to get in the thing, don't you? category of MRAP can travel at up to 65 miles per hour. Now, as I showed you with the M8 Recon car of World War II, wheels are a lot smoother at higher speeds and a lot quieter than tracked vehicles like the M113 and company. But MRAP wheels have another big advantage. They can keep driving even if the tires are shot out.
Look at that.
And to take advantage of the Cougar's speedy wheels, it has a more powerful engine and higher ground clearance. So it can tackle terrain that's even rougher than Mrs. Gunny's tongue lashing.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Yes. Oh, man. I gotta tell you, Gunner, this is something. Do you guys have any job openings here?
They might, Gunny.
Boy, I could sure use that every day. I think we were airborne in 24 tons.
Think so.
Oh.
And the key point is, nothing's broke.
Nothing's broke. We're ready to go now.
The MRAP is one smooth running machine just about anywhere. But I bet you'd be more interested in how it shoots. Well, quit your whining, because we're almost there.
Gunny, basically, what you see up there is the Objective Gunner's Protection Kit, what we call the OGPK, and that platform will accept any of the standard 4 heavy machine guns.
Some Category 1 and 2 MRAPs use a remote weapon system up top, so the gunner can fire off rounds without being exposed to enemy fire. But I'm a more hands-on kind of guy, especially with a minigun. Hoorah!
Now, I'm no stranger to the minigun. It's been around for a number of years. Mount one on top of this MRAP, and it turns this troop carrier into a serious offensive weapon. Now, the good folks here at Aberdeen Test Center have set up a target for us to try our hand at. It's a concrete wall about 250 meters downrange. Let's see how I do.
In today's urban combat, this concrete wall could easily be hiding a bunch of bad guys with RPGs. Not for long. The minigun's rotating multi-barrels can fire off more than 3,000 rounds per minute. That's over 50 rounds a second.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Now, that's what I'm talking about. We knocked the rest of that target down.
With its V-shaped hull and extreme versatility, the MRAP fleet is a highly survivable line of vehicles. And with the weapons it carries, it can also dish out destruction.